Hi there, this is the Knight Fork bait trap in the King's Gambit Declined, and it's an extremely common trap theme which manifests itself in different forms around this type of opening. After e4, e5, f4 is the King's Gambit, declined with bishop c5. After knight f3 and d6, and knight c3 and knight f6, White's bishop from f1 goes to its most aggressive diagonal on c4. After knight c6 and d3, we've reached an extremely common position in the King's Gambit Declined. Black can try bishop g4, giving an annoying pin to that knight on f3. And White's move h3 gives that bishop its marching orders, either trade or back off. So if the bishop takes on f3 and queen takes on f3, the black knight can jump into d4, which hits the queen as well as threatens knight takes on c2, forking the king and the rook. So the queen, instead of defending the pawn, can slide over to g3 and attack the pawn on g7. Black could counter with knight h5 or the text move, which is still fine, knight takes on c2, and we have that fork, the king and the rook. After king d1 and knight takes a1, White could play queen takes g7, which not only threatens mate on f7, but also hits the rook on h8. Well, black could play rook then to f8, or even possibly king to d7 and survive with close to equality. But instead of the immediate queen takes on g7, White can try taking now on f takes e5. And after the recapture, we should also say here that instead of recapturing, black could have played knight h5 and then queen to f3, threatens the mate as well as the knight, and black could castle and queen takes h5 with a very dynamic and interesting position. However, going back, after White has captured on e5 and black recaptures, White now takes on g7, hitting the rook, and now rook f8. Rook f1 brings the rook into the game, hitting the knight, which is defended with the retreat of the bishop to e7. But now the pressure is building on that knight on f6 with the move bishop to g5, and this is where black goes wrong. Black, however, could stay in the game with the move queen d4, which is quite interesting, because after the bishop takes the knight on f6, black has long castles, and if bishop takes on e7, queen takes on c4, keeps black firmly in the game. However, after the bishop g5, if the knight moves over to h5, black is struggling here, and White's going to be winning after bishop takes on f7. Because if the king runs to d7, queen takes e5 is threatening mate, queen e6. Well, c6 will give the black king some breathing room. If, however, the king would have gone to c8, we'll just look at one quick variation here. Knight d5, the bishop might go to d6, it doesn't really matter, it's curtains here for black in all variations. After bishop takes on d8, bishop takes e5, bishop e6 is check, king b8, bishop takes c7 is check, forcing bishop takes on c7, but now rook takes f8 will be mate after bishop d8 and rook takes d8. And backing up to that move c6, after queen takes on e5, c6 gives the king a little hole on c7. However, White then will check bishop e6, and the king goes back now to e8, followed by rook takes f8, and now if king takes on f8, queen h8 is checkmate. So this has been the Knight Fork bait trap in the King's Gambit Declined. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.